US President Donald Trump has signed a proclamation introducing a steep $100,000 fee for companies sponsoring H-1B visas. The H-1B program, which allows foreign professionals to work in specialized roles across sectors like tech, engineering and healthcare, has long been a pathway for highly skilled talent, especially from India, to contribute to the United States of America. But this new policy could completely change that dramatically. The Trump administration has defended the fee hike, calling it a necessary step to curb what it describes as widespread abuse of the system. In fact, according to the White House, the original intent of the H-1B program was to fill gaps in areas where domestic expertise is lacking, not to replace American workers. The message is clear. One of the most skilled, truly specialized professionals will now be allowed in and at a much higher cost to their employers. Major firms like Amazon, Microsoft and India's Tata Consultancy Services, all that rely heavily on H-1B talent, may now be forced to rethink their hiring strategies. Before we tell you the impact this could really have on India specifically, listen in to what US President Donald Trump had to say.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States to work.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here. $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it.
And to discuss it, we are joined by my guest. We have Ambassador Anil Trigwinath, former diplomat, joining us. We also have with us Balachandra Karthikeyan, who is CEO, Bringer Apps LLC USA. We also have with us Purvi Chotani, who is US Immigration Attorney, LawQuest. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. Ms. Purvi Chotani, let me begin this discussion with you. Firstly, can you explain to us what could be the immediate impact of this new strike by Trump administration, this new fee that he has now, imposed, $100,000 for H-1B visa? What does it mean for a country like India?
So 70% of the H-1B visas that are granted every year are granted to Indian nationals, and a large number of that are granted to our Indian IT companies which have operations in the United States and to many of the big IT giants like IBM, Meta, Apple, etc. Now, what this means is that anyone who is outside the United States and seeks to enter the United States on an H-1B visa after 12:01 a.m. on the 21st of September will be allowed into the country provided they can show proof of having paid the $100,000 fee. So everybody who's outside the United States is stuck, and all the people who have been granted visas after the cap selection H-1B petition has been approved will not be able to enter until this fee is paid, because they cannot enter the country before September 21st because they can arrive only 10 days in advance. So this is going to have a big impact on the H-1B travelers from not only India, across the globe.
Okay. Interesting. I have a couple of more important points also that I'd like to discuss with all of you. But before that, let's also tell a little bit more about this new policy to our viewers. Viewers, the new $100,000 fee on the H-1B visa sponsorship is set to make it significantly more expensive for US tech companies to hire foreign professionals. As a result, many firms are going to be under tremendous pressure to increase hiring of American workers locally. However, finding enough skilled talent domestically is already a major challenge for the industries there. And that is the reason why they were relying on foreign talent. Now, this shift is expected to push companies to pay higher wages to attract and retain qualified American employees, potentially raising costs across the sector. Let's go back to my guests, for more on this particular aspect. And for this point, I want to go across to Balachandra Karthikeyan. Now, there was a reason why this H-1B visa program was introduced. There was a reason why, if about 70% of these H-1B visas were being granted, they were being granted to Indians, because Indians bring skill which is leading to innovation in different sectors in America. Isn't it also going to have a significant impact, an adverse impact, in fact, on the American economy?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. So, as you said, the 71% of H-1B visas are held by Indians, So let's see how this decision, I think this is good for America and then the American people, because for many years, companies have brought in workers from other countries through the H-1B visa program. Many times this has taken away the chances from Americans. That's why by raising the visa fee from around like $5,000 to $100,000, President Trump is sending a clear message. If a company truly needs to bring someone in from the abroad, they can, but they have to be serious about it and make a real investment in America at the same time. See, for India, I think this could be a chance to keep more skilled people at home. When talented workers stay in India, they can start new opportunity, grow a tech company, start getting a, good paying job. So I think both countries can grow stronger, and so America keeps its job and India builds its own talent. That's how I'm seeing.
But the point really is, what happens to the people who are already working in American companies, who perhaps, are out on holidays. They may not make it back to America by 21st of September. What about people who come to India or go to other countries for work? In those cases also, will the employers have to pay this fee?
Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone ever pay the fee. I'm just reading the tweet from this morning, and then people are just not boarding on the plane. When the news announced, just like the U.S. immigration, she said, this rules takes effect from tonight, September 21st midnight. So even for example, some H-1B workers who went for India for a wedding or a family event, they now have to pay $100,000 fee to return to the U.S. So I think the people from the U.S. I don't think they are going to return back to India. You know who benefits? The countries like Dubai and Singapore gonna benefit because they have the perfect position to attract the tech talent. They have no income tax. They are business friendly and world-class infrastructure. So I think all these companies and the employees are gonna move outside of the U.S. So there's maybe remote jobs, maybe offshore jobs. I think that's what's gonna happen. So anyhow, this is a bad news for Indians. The American dreams are over now, so they have to pack up the bags and they have to leave the country. That's the clear message.
Okay, I know Ms. Purvi Chutani also wants to respond to that specific question I asked. I'll come to you in just a bit. I want to go across to Ambassador Trigunath as well. Clearly, bottom line is that this American dream with this strike is over. Can you explain to us how, or is there a possibility for India to turn this crisis also into an opportunity?
Yeah, thank you, Hannah. It's a fact that President Trump loves to take extreme decisions without a proper thought to it. It is like cutting their nose to spite the face. He wants to promote MAGA. At the same time, the technology is essentially the edge that the United States has currently. We don't know for how long. And that has been due to their ecosystem and the talent that they get from all over the world. And the two of them are sitting on our panel. Now, this is something that helps the United States maintain its edge and efficiency across the world. Now, it is definitely going to impact. If they had already the people who could be employed in those places at competitive rates and in a way that they could also achieve the same thing, then they would not have imported such a large number of people. There was no need to create H-1B or whatever it is. So they are going to impact, because these kind of rash decisions just to please a certain constituency of MAGA, these kind of initiatives must take pretty long in a kind of a crucible of talent to create that. In the United States, you see how many people are dropouts from the colleges, the schools. I mean, this is something, and every college or university or the Ivy League you go to, you only find the people who are either from India or China or some other countries acing it. Now, they are the ones, but true, I mean, this would, of course, be a short-term hit for India, but as Bala also mentioned that the Middle Eastern countries, for example, Japan is trying to attract, Germany is trying to attract the Indian talent. And in India, a large number of these big multinational corporations have their centers of excellence today. A large number of databases by all the companies are being created. So there is not going to be any dearth for the Indians to eventually get employed. There would be a short-term hit. Maybe economically that might not be that great, or you wanted to go to the United States and stay there.
Right.
I mean, so I would like to say that it is perhaps, as I always say, like the tariffs that he has placed against India, or whatever action they is taking, these kind of actions, they might be suicidal for themselves, but at the same time, that can be a blessing in disguise for India.
Okay. Ms. Purvi Chatani, blessing in disguise for India for sure, because many clearly are also seeing this move as an opportunity for India to get the best talent that currently perhaps prefers American companies over staying in India. It's time for them to come back to India, bring all that innovation, do it in India.
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, I don't think that India lacks opportunities at all. But definitely what would help us is to make India a more friendly place to do business. Ease of doing business in India can improve tremendously to attract and keep the talent over here. Because the moment they find a launch pad where they can easily launch their businesses, like they can in Silicon Valley, where they can find venture capitalists, where they can find other access to investors and investments. If we create an environment like that, there's no stopping India. We are a juggernaut. But we've got to make it a welcome and a fertile place for businesses to thrive.
Okay. Stay on with us, all of you. Let's also give more details to our viewers about this particular strike, because there is a lot of interest among the people as far as this move by Trump administration is concerned. The impact, viewers, of this decision by Trump administration, like we've been discussing, is expected to be felt more strongly in India, which has been the largest source of H-1B professionals for decades now. So let's tell you how it's going to impact India directly. Of course, many are seeing that there is an opportunity in this crisis too. But in the short term, let's decode for you the impact. One, it is expected to hit Indian workers in US the hardest, because Indians form majority of H-1B visa holders in America. Indians made up about 71% of H-1B visa applications in recent years. This will become difficult now it's going to make it difficult for entry-level professionals to live in the United States of America. There's going to be financial difficulty now for new graduates from American universities. Over 65% of Indian H-1B visa holders today are in the IT sector. There are going to be fewer job prospects for new graduates in the United States of America. So these are, viewers, some of the points that also need to be highlighted. And after US President Donald Trump's overhaul of the H-1B visa system, we are getting strong reactions from across the globe. Former Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant has slammed the move, calling the steep new visa fee a serious threat to American innovation. He warned that by making it harder and costlier for global talent to enter the US, the country is risking choking its own tech-driven growth. He called the policy short-sighted, adding that while it may hurt US companies in the short term, it could prove to be a long-term victory for a country like India. He further said America's loss is going to be India's gain. Listen in to some more reactions that we've got.
And unnecessary. And you said that you will hit Indians. Yes, it will hit Indians, but it will also hit American economy, because the young Indians are providing a good part of the brain power required to take American economy forward, and he is sort of, what shall I say, keen on scoring a self-goal.
And we have some more breaking inputs coming in at this point in time. Donald Trump's $100,000 H-1B visa strike has triggered a political war here in India. Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, has hit out at the Modi government. In fact, he has reiterated his charge, saying that India has a weak prime minister. That's the latest update that we are getting for you. He's put out a post on social media platform X, and this is now leading to a political war of words here in India as well. And we will, of course, be going across to my colleagues to get you more reactions on this particular latest update that we are seeing, because now this has led to political war of words here, even though there are experts who now believe that it's America's loss. Even though in the short term there could be some hiccup for Indians, but in the long term this could actually turn out to be a major victory for India. Yet you have leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, saying that India has a weak prime minister. Let's go across to my guests who continue to be with us. Ambassador Trigunyat, would you like to respond to this kind of a statement coming in on Trump's H-1B visa policy?
Well, I think that these are again myopic comments like President Trump's myopic policies. I mean, I'm not a politician, so I won't comment on a political leader, but he should be thinking exactly, this is not something that has happened today. The United States has occasionally used all these as some kind of a cudgel against various countries. So it is just calling a prime minister weak or something. It's not that. If the other side becomes totally senseless, it's very difficult for anybody. I wonder if Mr. Rahul Gandhi was there, he would have done anything differently. I mean, this is not only that. I mean, let us understand very clearly. Visa is the sovereign right of a nation. You may comment, you may crave, you may cry, but it is up to that country to allow anybody to come into or not. What is their national interest, they have to decide. We are nobody to decide. We only think that this is a reasonable thing that Indians have been contributing to their economy, their own growth, their own excellence and edge in the world. So they should continue to do so. And we happen to be the global comprehensive strategic partner. But in recent past, what I have seen President Trump doing is actually hurting us, whether it is the 50% tariff, whether it is the Chabahar port closure, or now the H-1B visa, or even putting the spook in the trade deal itself. So I think that all those things, or for that matter, entertaining the terrorist state, now all those things, in my view, gives us some kind of a skewed mentality problem in the United States. And that only time will prove it, or when they suffer from it. Because he is doing a long-term damage to his own country. That's it. That's the only thing I can say by the kind of policies that they are following.
That's an important point you're making, and we are getting a reaction now from Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well, requesting all of you to please stay on with us amid Trump's $100,000 H-1B visa fee bomb. Prime Minister Modi has pushed for